Oh, I haven't been to all these caves, actually. I didn't even notice they existed. Somehow. That's weird, this one is also shown that it's above. Or wait a minute, but it seems like it's below, but actually I don't know. On the map it shows that it's above. This is the tomb. Okay. Done that. Kind of lost now where I was. Where I was going. Oh, you can... Oh. That I did not know you can do. Rope swing. Just gonna see that we have no problems, because last time I did have problems. Yeah, it seems fine.
Not sure. can't really see, but I just lost contact with the sweep team.
Understood.
What the hell? Whoa. That was my loot. What are you doing, woman? Wait a minute. Wasn't I here already? I think I was. Actually, no. There was something I thought. So why could you jump over there? Like there was something else. Oh, that's right there. I think I'm gonna stop going for nodes, but I will go for these chests. Since it unlocks new weapons and stuff. Need to go back actually. As soon as we get to the next camp, I want to teleport check these caves. Cancels the shoulder. I'm full on everything. Loaded. Hardwood. Did I ever actually go there? What is that place? Oh shit, I think I made a mistake. Yeah, I was here. Yeah, this was a mistake. Thought this leads somewhere. Can I maybe climb back? Oh no. Where the hell am I? Is it before or after I killed them?
The Red Army finally uncovered the Temple of the Prophet's Blessing. They have halted normal operations and are beginning to plunder the riches of our ancestors. We're ready. Working with the foreign prisoners, we've managed to hoard weapons and dynamite. When the Guardians are disturbed, we will use the chaos to revolt. The Red Army has been ruthless to us, but we will pay them back in kind. We will not stop until these invaders are dead. Only then will our secret be safe.
Interesting. That was to pry open. Oh.
I'm in trouble. Big fucking trouble. I've been snooping around, saving a few files for my personal use, and I found a correspondence thread about me. Worse, I think I was supposed to find it. The head of security knows I've been leaking data. Probably known all along, and they're just watching for now, waiting to see what my end game is. I wish I had an end game. I'm gonna die just because I was nosy and stupid. I don't even think this channel is secure now. They could have picked you up already. I'm getting paranoid out here. But this Trinity, they are big, and they're everywhere. And the more I find out, the more I realize how badly I fucked up. So here you go. You were right. Hope I get to tell you that in person.
I already forgot. This is like a merc, right? Who's he talking to? Is there no bottle anywhere? It's not.
Lara, are you there? I'm pinned down, Lara. You need to get out.
Jacob! Shit. Shit. They're already inside.
See that activity log? I think it mentioned the safe. Manifest says the Soviets stored the most valuable artifacts from the site in this safe. Let's crack it open. Who's got the torch?
On it.
Okay, the rest of you, don't touch anything. Catalog whatever artifacts you find.
All of this came out of the mine?
Yeah. The last reports say they shut down operations as soon as they found the site.
Yeah, I was muted. Just checking. I think, yeah, OBS is going up and down on the bitrate. Let's see, it's climbing back up.
We got a flank! Under fire! We got a man down! Give me covering fire! I got you covered! Give me suppressing fire! Let's finish this!
Yeah, it's currently at 3k bitrate, which is still not full. Should climb back up. Yeah. Give me suppressing fire, he's like alone. Stupid. That's it? They're all dead? The music kind of stopped.
Killer! Now! This whole place is going up! Taking fire! Advancing! Cover me! Laying down covering fire! Fire in the hole! He's hit! Give me covering fire! Taking fire!
Wow, potato.
Shooter! Back me up!
That's weird. Sometimes you just don't shoot.
I have visual confirmation.
Kill him now.
Yes, sir. Fan out. We have
Riot shields.
I got an angle.
I'm going to kill you!
Need a bottle.
seem to be making a habit of saving each other.
Thanks. I'm glad you're okay. Is that the way through?
Yes. There'll be more of them inside. You don't have to do this.
Can't get rid of me so easily. I still need some answers.
And there's no time to waste.
This path will take us all the way through the mountain. My people used these ways until the Soviets arrived and began digging.
What did they find down here?
Enough to make them curious. They used machines and explosives to dig deeper. Did quite a lot of damage. Many of the old paths collapsed, but it's safe now. Or, it used to be.
That doesn't sound good.
Trinity must have found the old mining equipment. They're trying to finish what the Soviets started.
And there's no other way through.
I'm afraid not. Not anymore. This complicates things.
What's the problem? Shh. The wires here are corroded, but I think I can bypass it. Almost.
They're gonna bring the whole place down.
Find Sophia! Tell her Trinity is here!
Jacob, are you there? Can you hear me? This is bad.
Maybe we can get the elevator working. Gotta be a way out up there.
Hold on! I think I can... Okay. I can get power to that console.
Well, we're not getting back the way we came. Now we gotta fix that lift.
I know! Just let me try something here.
What if you just kill him
Damn it. The elevator's
before him?
jammed.
Okay, he's not gonna activate it.
Okay, spread out. Find something to pry it loose.
On it.
Someone there?
Intruder!
She's there! Open fire! This ends here and now! Light her up!
My bad.
Got to try that control panel.
They kinda instantly notice you. That's because it was super close. remove some objects.
This should come in handy.
Oh, you find it, you don't buy it. I thought you buy it. I thought the technician or whatever, there's another shop. I think that's the only guy.
At your earliest convenience, please acknowledge these communiques. We have received no directive since the discovery of the ruins. Examination of the artifacts and scrolls recovered from the site continue. As impossible as it may seem, it appears we may have discovered the ruins of the legendary city of Kitesh. There are also numerous references to some kind of messianic figure. If I'm interpreting the texts correctly, he was a prophet who fled Byzantium sometime in the 10th century. The inscriptions say he carried with him an artifact of great power. For the time being, I have suspended normal mining operations. It is my intent to discover the truth behind this mysterious prophet.
Could this be part of the lost city?
We now have heavy equipment in place within the main cavern. We intend to gain access to some kind of temple, even if we have to rip down its ancient doors to do so. While hundreds of artifacts have now been recovered and catalogued, 2 guard crews have gone missing in the mines. I have personally questioned the native prisoners. They claim to have no knowledge of the whereabouts of the missing guards. And though we've punished them harshly, I fear they are on the verge of revolt.
Too close. This mural shows the prophet preaching in Constantinople. Separated again. I just hope Jacob's still alive. I don't know exactly where I am, That's rapidly becoming the story of my life. I'm fighting to survive, yet strangely, I feel hopeful. There are incredible ruins all around me. This must be part of the Prophet's lost city. But how much more is true? The divine source. Could it really be here?
Gonna do this just in case if we ever get into a pickle. I need to teleport back real quick. Check a few things. I also wanted to see what is that bow we have unlocked. The compound one. I mean, it just adds damage. Yes. Later you will need it. But I don't know, like a headshot seems to always kill, but then again, maybe not always. So technically, let's see, does this bow... Oh, but it carries over the upgrades. So there's that. I didn't know that. White Widow, which is nice. That's cool. Draw speed. These doesn't seem to be very different. Yeah, they're the same. Grim Stinger. Oh, that's from, because that's from the DLC, okay. Increased price speed. Knock down even armored enemies. Fast travel unavailable. Oh, that sucks. I want to go back because now I think I can translate this obelisk and... Well, I don't have enough coins for the crafting item, but yes, once I have 70, or is it 80? I don't remember. I think it's 70.
Ruins are incredible. Oh no!
Looks like that one. Okay, let's get that door down.
Looks like Anna was right about the Lost City. The source has to be somewhere down here.
This wall looks like it was put up in a hurry. I can feel air on the other side.
No one on the other end but Stat.
Hold on. Something's up.
Not looking forward to that. We thought the Soviet corpses on the way in.
Must have been this way.
I don't know who else it could be, but the sooner we get out of here, the better.
Oh, he's right there.
False alarm.
Shit.
Incoming!
Comrades, it is imperative that you respond to my communiques. We are now in dire need of supplies and reinforcements. A full revolt is in progress, and the prisoners now control the excavation site and surrounding facilities. In retribution, I have ordered mass executions of prisoners from the native population. With any luck, these rebels will lay down their arms and surrender to save their own countrymen.
I'm in a fighting position! Stand down! Cover me!
You can't hide from me! Get clear!
It's kind of weird that your dodge is kind of scramble and then roll. Feels weird. But yeah, I guess just constantly rolling would be too powerful, but even though it works kind of the same, I don't know why. I mean, I'd rather have this small dodge instead of the scramble and then dodge. But the dodge is somehow a bit better. Oh, wait a minute, I got the crafting tool? Wait a minute, but you can also buy it. Interesting, so you can also find it. I did not know that. I'm guessing that I could have also found the all the other stuff that I bought, but maybe just later. Like the rope. And what else did I buy? Hello, Micha. Or is it Micah? I'm not sure. Let's see, so I think now we can finally upgrade some stuff further. Reload speed. Oh, that's gonna help. Actually. We need oil. Wow, we need so many hides again. Ammo capacity. Let's get this. Draw speed. Even faster. Главное управление лагерей or main control of all camps. So whoever began calling every labor camp a gulag is not the wisest guy. Yeah, I mean, it's like what was the movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger? Red Dawn. It's like, watch that movie and you will understand the extent of the US knowledge of, you know, Russian stuff, so kind of works both ways, you know. It's not like every person from Russia or the US is savvy of what's going on in the opposite country, and then you take whoever wrote the game, you know, it's kind of but yeah, whoever did that should have did some research. There is no doubt about that, man. I mean, if you care about not looking like an ass, I would have probably done my research just to get the right spots. I mean, if you're going for Gulag, sure. Maybe this was a Gulag. Maybe there were a bunch of other camps, so they used that terminology in a general way, you know? In this area. Oh, I think there is one, right? I'm actually curious because I remember I've been reading about it several times. It's a central, no? Is it a central or is it a in each region? Main Directorate of Camps, yeah, was the government agency in charge of Soviet network of forced labor. Yeah, that's the... I think it was one central spot. I mean, you had a lot of camps, but obviously... Yeah, okay, yeah. Yep. Yeah, I understand. It's like calling the, take any agency or anything that has headquarters and just call it headquarters for everything. Or maybe, well, technically it would be stupid to try and call it Gulag so people would understand it's a labor camp. You could have called it a labor camp. I guess Gulag has a better punch to it. So.
It is clear to me now that our communications have been sabotaged. You likely have received none of my cables for quite some time. But I will continue transmitting as it is my duty. Local natives attacked us on multiple fronts soon after we attempted to sway them with the executions of their countrymen. There are far more natives than we ever anticipated. It is clear that they come from the other side of the mountain and have been preparing their revolt carefully for years. We are now without power and water, and winter is upon us. Those of us who remain will soon be leaving. We have one train transport, and we will take with us as many records and artifacts as we can.
Yeah, because when I started playing, it was in my kind of subconscious. When I heard Gulag and then Siberia, I'm like, what? It's a labor camp, I get it, but Gulag, I'm like, what? But I didn't say anything. I was like, Because I don't know much of that as well, so I thought, okay, if you call it a gulag, whatever. And like, I didn't remember that it was the central directorate of other camps. But I always thought, or at least heard, and kind of that's the only thing I knew, that the gulag is one place, and labor camps are labor camps. Unless I'm wrong, but it seems like that's what it is, because that's the HQ. But yeah, I guess cool, whatever. Yeah, it sounds more horrifying than just a labor camp, you know? Because it sounds also kind of alien. It's not from English, so... Have you seen the new game Back 4 Blood or something? Like Left 4 Dead 3 or something?
I can use these other cables to rip open the door.
Can use these other cables to rip open the door.
Someone tried to get through this door before.
Like I can jump there. I hope I'm not wrong. Okay. You can hear her like cough from the pit. I was trying to go to the right, then I was trying to go upwards.
The truck's anchored to that door. It might be heavy enough to rip it open.
Supposed to. They added quite a few more things in this game, like pushing and I think swinging. I don't remember that in the first one.
Just need to find a way to push that truck into the chasm.
Knife? Yeah. Oh, my bad.
She's there by the barrels.
Oh shit. I basically let them know where I am.
I'm taking fire. Give me suppressing now. Fire. She's reloading. Suppressing fire. I'm under fire. Cover me. I got you covered.
bad spot to fight them. Yeah, I kind of screwed myself. What is that?
She's hurt! Taking fire! Moving into cover! Throwing a grenade! Damn it! Lost her. We've got cover! Moving into cover! Buster! I see you! Grenade out!
I forgot they fight each other because of the poison. Pretty cool. Crowd control. Kind of OP, I gotta say. Yeah, that thought is constantly in my mind in every location, and that's what I say. That's why when I say they didn't forget it's a video game, they made a game to be a game, and that's kind of it, because all of this nonsense obviously is nonsense. Not the story by itself, I mean, you know, whatever, that's a story, but the hidden cities in the mountains with fucking a ship in the mountains and the ice, like, logically speaking, if that ship is there, that means the water was on that level, you know? It's like all kinds of inconsistencies, obviously. But it's a video game, and they made it to be fun, and it is fun, and that's the end of it. But yeah. All of it is very silly. Oh, there it is.
Now this makes sense. If I follow these directions...
Coins. Some coins behind me. I wanted to check here. Oh, can you? That's weird. Some projectors, you can destroy this one. Maybe I missed. So wait a minute, why was there a dodge? Am I supposed to use a dodge next to them to prompt it? I need to test it with another melee character. Melee enemy. Oh, I missed. I kind of clicked space, but damn, oof. One nasty death.
Gold sword hilt inlaid with jewels. This belonged to a Byzantine noble. The blade itself was snapped off at the base. Did this happen in battle?
Who fights with a golden sword? Was there golden swords? Really? Wasn't it bronze and iron? Okay. That's a weird commentary. I'm kind of curious because only ceremonial, yeah, that's as well. That's what I thought as well. I'm kind of curious about these things, these specific things, because I remember reading about bronze and steel swords, iron swords, and armies that had them and armies that didn't, and how it affected the outcome and shit like that, and obviously different shields and what they used. So it's kind of surprising to hear about a fucking golden sword, and she says, was it in battle? Yes. Some rivers in a bit. No, you remember the tomb? The tomb was a ship stuck in the, they called it the Glacial Sea. Something. No, I'm just saying, I obviously understand that this, if you look at this from a realistic perspective, this game is a joke, but that's kind of the beauty of it. You're not supposed to look at it like that. It's a video game. Because if it was realistic or tried to be, or claimed to be, then you will always nitpick the things that made no sense. And some mechanics would probably not be that fun, because realism is grindy usually, and sluggish, you know? Oh my god. Oh my god. Keep killing her like that.
To any who received this message, I will soon be dead, and with me all knowledge of this place. Escape for us was never an option. We boarded the train and set out for the long journey, only to discover that mere miles from the mountain, the tracks we built upon the backs of so many dead had simply disappeared. For months now, the native population has carefully dismantled the railroad, intentionally isolating this place in preparation for their attacks. And like their precious ruins, I will soon be taken by the snows and forgotten.
Looks like the people of the valley got their revenge on their captors in the end. Yeah, what's interesting, I remember when there were a lot more people on the channel when I used to stream XCOM, there were quite a few people that, and it seems that since they kept bringing it up when, you know, I stream games like XCOM or mods for XCOM or other games, that the lack of realism in games bothered them, and I mean, and it seems like it really kind of ruined their enjoyment from video games. And like come on, like, it's a video game, and like it was so silly, because I remember I was playing XCOM and we were specifically talking about XCOM lacking some realism elements, and it was just so silly. Like, they would gripe about it.
Under fire! We got a man down! I'm under fire!
Yeah, one wrong camera turn. Where's that last guy? I thought he's in cover or something. Some people do, but what's funny is that I think they were... You can look it in a game like that... What the fuck? Oh, they're above out there. You can look it in the game like, let's say, a simulation game where there's a game that was released not long ago where you're like a villager and you build your own houses and huts and like production and shit, or if you're building some kind of a manufacturing line, so people would look for some realism, how things are connected, you know, how which engine, what electricity you're using, maybe the wattage and the connectors, like that type of source of realism, you know, some logical connection between the game and the real world, because it draws inspiration from the real world. And it's also kind of a thin line, because you could make a manufacturing sim and not abide the rules of the real world, you know, like you could look at Oxygen Not Included, like it's a colony sim, but it's a sci-fi. There's some things that as if make a little sense. They need oxygen, oxygen goes upwards and CO2 goes downwards because of the weight which is drawn from the real world. That's how it works. But everything else is just not. And you gotta give it the benefit of the doubt to enjoy it. You can't just claim, oh my god, that's realistic, so everything needs to be realistic. But some people do that. And they do it especially in the wrong games. Like fucking XCOM, you're talking about realism in XCOM. It's an alien invasion. Yeah, it's possible, but it hasn't happened. And look at what, like, futuristic combat and all that shit. It's sci-fi, so like chill, you know? And some people are really bothered by it. At least that's what I understood from our discussions. Like, they couldn't look past it. It's like I can't look past some problems with games on the design choices. They can't look past it because that's a design choice as well. So for each his own, but I think that gripe is a little bit silly. It depends on the product, of course, because some games, like trying hard to kind of imagine. Let's say Forza Horizon would have been played like Mario Kart. I can understand the argument there, you know? Unless they came out and said, oh, we're gonna make this hyper-realistic racing game, but the controls are gonna be from fucking Mario Kart, you know, or some shit like that. I don't know if it's a good comparison, but you get what I'm saying. Wait a minute, this? Yeah, exactly. That's a great. You gave me an idea. You reminded me of my summer car. If you remember that. Can I jump here? My summer car is a mechanic. Like, it has some portions of mechanic elements in the game, and I think there was also another newer game where you build your car. And obviously, if you have too much realism in it, it's not gonna be fun. And I guarantee you that if you go into the reviews or into the comment section on the forums, you will find people that have gripes that it doesn't have enough realism. I'm like 200% sure. And they really see it as a fucking problem. Because I've seen it in games like Space Engineers. Like, it's about space. Engineers, and you're building shit, but... And I mean, I know I griped about some realism stuff in other games. But I guess maybe to some it will also will look ridiculous. I thought it was reasonable. I don't remember what it was, but I'm not gonna say I never did. I definitely remember that I did. Oh, we're still opening the gate. I forgot about the gate. Where the fuck am I supposed to go? Shit, I have no idea. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, the realism is to some extent. You can claim realism for different things. Like, you could say, in Forza, for example, you have things like tires for rain, for snow, and all that shit. But instead, you could strip it away and just say this tire adds 20 kilometers per hour, and everybody would say, like, what the fuck? How's tires related to your top speed, you know? That's not realism. That's not real. That's not how tires work. Or some shit like that. But then you have to make the distinguish. You have to distinguish if your game is arcade or is it a simulation. That's the problem. I guess I need to go back. That's kind of the thing. You need to draw the line. Like, for example, Bannerlord. It's medieval combat, right? And if they will do some of the elements like combat on horseback, they will not draw inspiration from medieval times, and they would not do it the way people used to fight on horseback. People will say, and I will also say, if it looks ridiculous, too ridiculous, so they're using some weird, I don't know, like technique, I would probably say, hey guys, this is kind of silly. I mean, your game is striving to be, you know, somewhat a medieval simulation. But what they did, for example, is that they created a fantasy world. Calradia does not exist. But let's say they made something based on medieval Europe and then missed a few mechanics for, I don't know, formations. People would talk about it, you know? there's all kinds of examples,
If I can
I'm
bring
saying,
down that crane, it should be enough to rip open the door.
to claim realism. And I feel like some situations grant you that argument and some don't.
If I can fill that bucket, it might be heavy enough to bring down the crane. If I can bring down that crane, it should be enough to rip open the door. That did it.
Somehow she always survives, huh? She's crazy lucky. She should play the lottery, not cave exploration. If I remember and I run into such a comparison, I will definitely PM you, because there's so many things I run into on the forums that people demand and compare, and it's like, God, like, this is my guy, this is like a video game, chill.
The immortal prophet.
My dude.
And this, it shows the exodus of his people from the deserts of Syria. They settled in a hidden valley and built a great city. Katash. To protect the city and its people, the prophet raised an army of warriors. But what is this showing? It's not the divine source they're holding. Something else, but what? And his warriors forged for him an atlas, that the prophet might always see and its secrets. A map of the city. It could show the way to the divine source.
The source. Like, for example, in this game, I don't know, but we saw that. Why did I question that sword? Did the Byzantine Empire use golden swords? Did they use them in combat? And that's kind of the thing. This game, in compared to realism, makes no sense, right? Everything collapses, things exist in places they shouldn't, all that heavy engineering stuff and all these caves and the way she escapes. We gotta give the game the benefit of the doubt because it's an adventure. But then you have these elements where she finds things you could say from the real world, but also Trinity did not exist, so those metals and shit are not from the real world. But for example, what if the Soviet, the hero of the Soviet Union star is not the right star? That is something that I support. If you come in and you say like, what the fuck is this shit? I understand that your game is a fantasy world, but you draw something concrete from the real world that exists and you used it, but it's wrong. It's not the right color, it's not the right star, it's not the right stripes, and all that shit. I would have a problem with that. For example, if I knew for sure if that sword existed and whether they used it in battle or not, personally, I would have had a problem with that. I would, like you said, why are they calling it a gulag? A gulag, this is a labor camp. A gulag is the HQ. I clearly see the problem there, you know? It's not a made-up thing. It has structure. It was already made before you created it, and if you write a script around it, then use it in the appropriate way, because it's not something you made up. You can't just change it as you want. So I would definitely support that argument. No, that's what I'm saying. So some things I think are arguable, and other things could be very silly to try and argue about. But that's just my opinion, that's how I see things. And I'm kind of curious, if I remember that, to go and Google if people had a problem with the way Lara, like she's strong, like you jump into the water and you don't freeze. That's for example another thing that you could claim, but it depends what the game presents to you. For example, we swam. If this game had survival aspects where you need to eat, you need to wear clothing that you would not get cold and die of hypothermia, but then you had a segment where you swim under icy water and nothing happens to you. If those two things existed in the game at the same time, it's a contradictory to itself, and that's a fucking problem. You can't make those two things in the game, you know? It makes no sense. On one hand, you have this mechanic that you need to keep up with. On the other hand, you swim in icy water. Like, decide, is it this or that?
It's a wonder this place is still standing.
You have something similar in movies as well. It's called movie logic. Just give them the benefit of the doubt. Characters teleport, switch positions, and something happened previously and then completely the opposite happens in the other take. But that's what's needed to move the plot forward, and that's it. But that's the way I see it. I mean, again, that's the way my mind works, and that's how I decide if I give a pass to something or I don't. To me, it seems if you construct a set of rules, you gotta follow them. And if you create two rule sets that contradict each other, then I have a problem with that. Whatever they desire, hand it to them their way, even if it's stupid desire in the first place. Well, that's a different thing. I mean, everything is accelerated today. Instant gratification. Depends what we're talking about here. Video games or just in general? Yeah, that's true. I kind of wanted to say exactly what you just said. You kind of read my mind. I was about to say I saw a lot of forums where you would have like divided player base. And it's silly and funny at the same time. Some people look for realism, some don't mind realism, and some look for realism in certain parts. But then you have the opposite side that accepts what they disagree with, but looking realism in another aspect. And it's so confusing. Like, people, are you... And why does it happen? Because everybody have their own understanding of logic. That's what I draw from it. Like the fundamental zero, the sea level of logical understanding.
Stop right there!
Is different from person to person.
Easy. You know I'm not with Trinity. Why should we believe you? I escaped with one of yours. A man named Jacob. Where is he now? We were together, but we got separated in the mines.
She
You
killed
got
him!
crushed.
No. Jacob would never trust an outsider. Please, listen, I am not your enemy. I warned you. You should have left.
Sophia!
Then enter Jacob. Yeah.
Father! I thought I lost you.
I'm glad you made it out of there. Forgive Sophia, she is cautious.
In her position, I'd be the same way. What did you find out?
Trinity is coming in force. We must prepare.
Her?
Yeah.
On my word, no harm will come to
3 times.
These ruins.
Killed the enemies, saved her from the water, and now
Do not have much time.
maybe even 4 that I missed.
Prepare the weapon stores.
Help her escape, I guess.
Go, now.
General.
Almost here. But we're outnumbered.
The children and elders are vulnerable.
Go. Get them into the catacombs. Light the fires. The valley must be alerted.
Incredible.
Oh wow, this is Lord of the Rings fires.
Muster our fighters. Then meet me in the upper village.
Don't disappear again, Father.
Gondor is asking for help.
There's much to do. If we had more
How
time.
did they call those lights? I forgot.
For now, I'll do what I can to help.
And Rohan shall answer. Or some shit like that. I don't remember. And I saw Lord of the Rings so many times, but I don't remember. But yeah, I read somewhere, but I might be wrong, that in ancient Greece they used to have dedicated like courses, you know, classes for logical thinking. And I might be wrong, but to me,
You, head down to
logic
radio.
is like
Generator.
black and white, truth and lie.
Transmission out.
There is
Let the other settlements
just
know.
one way
I'll do what I can. You too. I need eyes out.
for something to be logical and something to be
I
illogical.
want to know the moment you see their
But
helmet.
I might be wrong, but that's how I see it. And sometimes people
We'll sound the horn.
in those discussions
Go with God.
This vase must have been beautiful once, but someone's poked a few new holes in it and filled it with dirt. They must have used it to grow seedlings.
And sometimes in those discussion and arguments, people claim something that is illogical, but they think it's logical.
Acropolis Tower.
And I just see it as
We'll send the
a
family
person that
catacombs below.
does not completely comprehend what logic is and what rules it follows, you know?
Sophia and her warriors.
Whatever, man. Like, I went too deep with this shit.
Yes, but we know the valley.
Forget about it.
The ruins and the woods to our advantage.
I hope to God.
Yeah, of course I saw it. I saw it like 3 times in Goblin
Jacob and
translation.
his people are
It's a
resentful
masterpiece.
than that. Trinity is on their way. They could do with my help. And this atlas from the mural. If it really is some kind of map of the ruins, I've got to find it before Anna. If I don't, then all these deaths will have been in vain. And I can't have that on my conscience.
Гиби Зурабович. Для вас ты безотцовщина. Агроном, сын агронома. Да, мать, знаете, мочить козлов. Just damage from enemies for a short period of time. Adrenaline. Skill Lightfoot. Stealth Landing. Efficient Killer. Oh, that's from above. Go charge attacks. I want to get that triple shot. See you when landing. This is such a weird perk. As if you do it so much. Like, what are the locations for this? It's not like you can jump off the level, you know? I think I'm gonna go for the headshots and the triple shot later on. Oh, wait a minute. I thought I unlocked something new to wear. Let's see. Increases the duration of your poison clouds. Whatever. Well, I don't need the crafting tool. But I might ride the grenade launcher later. Oh.
I need more wood for the fire.
They needed most of the lumber to repair
Oh, I killed their chicken. My bad.
what we have.
Well, if they need arrowheads for the battle, then I need more firewood.
I've already cut plenty. Besides, I don't know how much more time you'll have left to forge.
We can make points faster than broadheads. That should be our focus.
I've never felt such terror. Tonight, the armies of the Mongol horde camp at the edge of the valley, ready to strike at the heart of Kitezh. We have the alchemist's fire at ready to set the invaders alight. Every man and woman who can wield a weapon will fight. We will do all we can to support the Athanatoi. But I have never seen bloodshed. None of us mere citizens have. I have never taken a life, and now that I must, I fear for my resolve.
What is that? Ripped entrance.
No, I'm trying to get the structure repaired. You want the whole thing to fall and the picks up? Just keep your eyes out.
Hello there. Fires still rage in the outer districts. The last of the wooden buildings will be consumed by nightfall. The heart of our city is gone, buried beneath the ice. I can take some small solace in the fact that the Mongol invaders were killed, alongside the Prophet's warriors who died to save us. And the Prophet himself? No one has seen him since the morning after the siege ended. We need his wisdom, now more than ever. We do not have enough food to feed those who survived. Some believe the worst is over, but I fear that is not the case.
I'll do what I can.
I'll run out of nails before we're done here.
We can pull more out of the old cabins.
Jacob said we'd come. We never recovered from the Soviets. And now this.
He's making arrows. As many...
Another difficult winter for my people. There are more deaths than births now. And as the seasons pass, the young ones are becoming restless. I see them looking to the sky when the rare plane passes overhead. Wistful. Wondering. Longing. I know they are still deeply committed to the cause. But I also sense a change coming. An end to our way of life is on the horizon. The most recent invaders are fading from memory. But as the technology of men advances, more are bound to find our valley again. And we are bound with the fate of this place. For better or worse.
Why are they chilling though? The Prophet was supposed to prophesy something and...
Keep them safe. What have I done? We should have been ready for this.
And that's it, but it seems like it's been a long time since the Mongols, and now we have like Ruskies over here. And we have cell phones, so what the fuck were they waiting for? Whatever he prophesied, it did not happen, it seems.
Now this makes sense. If I follow these directions...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why, if I'm not mistaken, ancient Greece had a class for logical thinking, because it's a path like truth. It's only one path. Something is logical and something is illogical. And if your brain, you don't understand that, or you're not wired like that, of course, yeah, there will be disagreements. You can disagree of an opinion about something, but there are some things that consist of ways of doing certain things. Yeah, but that's not like I feel like that is not a good analogy for logical thinking. Something you're familiar with or not. I mean, that's...
Greetings.
It's true what you're saying. Application of your understanding to something like a tool that you need to use, but you never used it, so you would not understand how to use it properly. So, but I don't know, logic. Again, if I'll find an example, I will share it with you. Right now I don't. Cave is on the other side. Give me a second. I want to see if I was wrong or not. Yeah, history of logic. It was in the ancient Greece. India, China, and Greece. But also from different countries, obviously, from different... There's a prehistory of logic. It's a very interesting read, actually. Yeah, like it's a science by itself. It's pretty interesting. Logic possessed of reason, intellectual, dialectical, argumentative, a systematic study of valid rules of inference. And rule of inference is a rule of inference or transformation rule is a logical term consisting of function which takes premises, analyzes their syntax, and returns a conclusion. It's like, and you can see this is not something you can be born with, I guess. I mean, it's like, because there were classes about it. There's logical thinking, but that's what I'm saying. You can't expect everybody to be the same way, obviously, especially if in our day and age, I don't know which countries have that in their usual regular, you know, education system. I know in Israel we don't have that. I don't know if it's in Russia or in...
Young ones. You scoffed at learning your letters, said it had nothing to do with hunting. But that's your first lesson. Everything is connected, and I am always right. You clever students who saw the folly and stubbornness and can read this, here's your first assignment. Track, hunt, and bring me back the pelt of one of the small creatures of the valley. Hares you can find anywhere, night or day, both the little brown ones in our valley and the snow hares in the peaks. The squirrels stick to the trees, and rain will drive them into their burrows. And if you see fit to seek the rats, look inside the ruins, or anywhere the dead still lie. Please, do not bring me a rat.
Right now I'm kind of missing any example to give you, but there's so many times that you see illogical decisions everywhere, from politicians to your friends to, you know, a problem solving, that if you give it some thought and think about before you start acting, you would realize that it was illogical and the result is gonna be fucking stupid.
Here is your lesson for today. Bring me any creature with feathers. The birds in our valley fly mostly by day, nesting away at dark. You've seen gulls and other kinds farther afield. Those common birds would count for today's lesson, but it would lack ambition. You clever students who wish to impress me would do well to head to the high elevations between dawn and dusk. I would find Buzzard most impressive. And before you ask, the chickens around our village came here with our ancestors. Bringing me a tame bird from your mother's yard will not fulfill the assignment.
I see what you're saying, but I personally, I don't think that applies to logic, but I might be wrong. Logic is, for example, when you tie your shoes and there's a chair next to you, you're gonna put one of your legs on the chair to bring it closer to you so you can tie your shoes. That would be logical. What would be illogical is to bring your leg up to the chair, but instead of tying the leg that is closer to you, you're trying to tie the shoelaces on the other leg that is farther away for you. I'm talking about things like that. One is logical action, the other one is illogical, and the result is that you either do it in comfort and convenience, or you're gonna fucking strain your back. That's an example from, you know, the usual Moldavanian joke, that they basically bring the leg upwards onto the chair, but they tie the other shoelace, which makes no sense. Talking about shit like that. What you described more sounds like a fucking making of a serial killer. I actually watched a lot of documentaries on different serial killers as of late. Maybe too much. Since it's fascinating. Wait a minute, there is a mural? Oh, there it is.
Followers of the Prophet fled to the east. The journey was difficult.
But that's the thing, there's no such thing as not everybody think that that is logical or not. What is logical, and what is illogical is illogical. Like black and white, this color is white, that color is black. This is the truth, and the truth is the only one truth. And lies are those lies. Well, I'm telling you the truth is always that. It happened, that is the truth. I can't change it. You know what I mean? It's like one flow. But I might be wrong, because the logic classes, you really need to read about it. They're way more extensive. There's a system behind it. It's not just like only what I'm saying. But it's not about every person has an opinion. It's not like that. You can't have your own logic path, if I'm not mistaken. That's not how it works. Oh shit. Like if somebody does something and you ask, why the fuck did you did it? And he did something stupid. He says, I thought it was logical. And if you analyze it, you might come to a conclusion that he's illogical. And if he stands by that, by his argument of whatever he did, he's an idiot. You know? It's just, it's a thing, it's a discussion, it's hard. You're typing and I'm talking. We need to listen to each other, and obviously both, or at least one, because I don't remember, read about the subject, because it's not that simple. Like, what would be logical? To park your car and pull up the handbrake? Or pull up the handbrake when you're moving into the parking lot and making a turn? One act is logical, the other one is illogical. And if you cannot make the distinguish between that, and you pull up your handbrake when you make the turn into the parking lot, you're a fucking idiot. An illogical one. Maybe I'm implying it wrong, but that's how I see it, you know? There's like a certain way, but this is like a specific thing. This is because you know how to do it. And I mean, then you could say, okay, this guy never drove a car. But that's besides the point, you understand? Kind of, okay, so he should have not been behind the wheel. It's like, whatever. It's a very, very extensive discussion. It's actually a very interesting topic, at least for me. Well, the place I used to work at, we used to discuss shit like that a lot with my friend at work. Since he would read all kinds of interesting things and I would read all kinds of things and then compare and argue and come to conclusions, agree, disagree to some. He convinced me about a few things, I convinced him about a few things as well. Let's see. Cave, what is it? Huh. Seems like It's here? Can I drop there? I think I just died. Oh no, I didn't, but... What the hell is that? That... Challenge. How many? It's in the other... Wait, it's in the other guy might think. Might see. Yeah, but when he discovers it's not easy, he should realize it is illogical what he did. It does not make sense. The fact that he thought doesn't change the fact that it isn't. Oh shit. Wait a minute. Oh, it's here. Missing gear. Rebreather? Wow, there's so much gear in this game. High dive. Leap off platforms that overlook water and quickly press R. Oh, okay. Yeah, but again, that's what I'm saying. The fact that he doesn't know something doesn't change the fact that it was illogical. I think I need to, yeah, use knife. Another challenge? Oh my god. Can you actually pick it up? Oh, I picked up the arrow. Okay. Like if you have the time or anything, watch. It's interesting. YouTube or read about it. It's quite interesting, the concept of that and how it actually is constructed. Like last time what I was reading was about ancient Egypt dynasties, and every time I read something or listen to like a podcast of one specific subject, I completely forget what I did previously. And it was a long time ago, but yeah, every time like I listen to all kinds of weird shit, stuff like that because it's interesting, but it just flies out of my head after I get the next portion of information. But there is. That's what I'm saying. It's ancient. It comes from the ancient Greece. That's what I'm saying. There's no doubt about it. And mathematics rely on logic. Simple example is 1 + 1 = 2 and not 4. That's logic. It's logical. Take one object, for example, and you combine it with another, put it in the same basket. That's kind of the thing. What am I doing here? So there is no way up. There is a cave I can get into. Go down. Yes, but I'm saying it doesn't change the fact. Your meaning means nothing. It just means that you cannot. Your process, your thought process is illogical, and that's it. It's like logic is like a proof to your story that backs up your argument. It's the fundamental structure of an argument. If you argue and you don't, if you argue with a person and he backs up his argument with logic, his argument is superior than yours because yours is just an opinion. It's not based on something. That's what I'm saying. You know? It's like an item was stolen. Both persons say they didn't do it. One has proof, an alibi, the other one doesn't. By logic, who is the most suspicious person? The one with the alibi and that has proof he wasn't in the vicinity of the stolen object, or the other guy? By logic, you would suspect the other person. And that's logic. That's what I'm saying. You know, it's like going back to the source, to the roots, to the fundamental. That's why it's interesting, because it's thought-provoking. I don't know. That's why I'm saying, if you have the time, or if it actually really interests you, I mean, read about it, watch videos. It doesn't necessarily come from experience, but I might be wrong. Again, I need to kind of refresh my memory. Just for the sake of the argument and the interest. Oh shit. Oh shit. I'll come oh my god, I think I got involved. I'll come prepared for the next stream. Also to refresh my memory. No, you don't need to encounter logic, you need to understand it, you need to, your thought process. The thing is, you can teach logic, obviously there were classes for it, but if you cannot process it and accept it and understand it, then you're gonna be the black swan. If you are in a society that has the grip on logical thinking. It's not like you're seeing compassion and empathy, so you grow to be a compassionate, empathetic person. Where the hell am I? But yeah, I'm gonna stop here. It's like, again, I said, I'll be prepared for the next stream to discuss this further, because I need to refresh my memory. It's been too long since I read about logic. Oh, missing gear as well. How exactly it works. Geothermal valley. I want to find What's with that bell sound? It seems like this bell sound followed me from the Baba Yaga. Oh, it's bells here. It's kind of disturbing. So it's like, what is this? A graveyard and they put bells everywhere? Can you imagine like walking around at night? Fucking scary. Scary Harry, wait a minute. So I guess the it's somewhere underwater, I'm guessing. Seems like this cave is also below. Unfortunately, what kind of hard to distinguish on this map. Or maybe the lighter coloring is the higher, the elevated ground. It seems so. Sure. Yeah, but that description has nothing to do with logic. So what? That is his experience. How is that tied with logic?
Greetings.
Yeah, it is below. Okay. So he doesn't know how an animal looks. There's another tomb. Yeah, I understand, but that's not logical thinking. It's more in the sense of action and reaction. If I do A, would I get B or C? And should I even do it this way or in another? Kind of thing. Yeah, but again, you're talking about misunderstanding the personal experience. It's like people, for example, say he's not intelligent. But what is intelligence? It's not the fact that you went to Harvard. Intelligence, by definition, is the ability to use your past experiences and to overcome other obstacles in problem solving. That is intelligence. And our intelligence vary from person to person. Yes, you can be trained, but it doesn't mean you're intelligent. So, kind of yes, it could be explained to you and you could understand it, or you could be trained to accept it, but you still don't understand it because you don't have logical thinking. It's something that you're born with, but obviously there's all kinds of equations and explanations to it, you know? It's a very broad subject, and since my memory is rusty, I give you better examples and explanations, and obviously it's a way deeper thing. What the fuck? Holy shit. Wait a minute, how do you do it perfect? Let's see. I want to do it perfect. Is he running away or is he running at me? I get it, what's going on? He has nowhere to run. So yeah, it's oh, I can't loot it, unfortunately. I needed hides. So I think when you dodge, it starts playing that quick time event that you need to nail before. I think there's a red exclamation mark, but then again, I'm not sure. And maybe somehow loot it. And I don't want to give up on 2 hides, or maybe even 3, maybe more. Yeah, but again, you're talking about personal experience, not knowing. Again, as an example, analogy, that you know what a cat is and I don't. You know what driving a car is, I don't. Would it be logical for me to sit in a car and drive it if I don't know how to drive it? The answer is obvious, and if anybody answers you that it would be logical to drive a car without knowing how to drive it, he has a fucking problem, and you can see the problem. And that is kind of the illogical thinking. The person has a perception that he sees it as logical, but it's not, you know? It's very simple as a day-to-day thinking, but obviously as a concept, as a fucking study, and since it is ancient, it's just not that simple to explain. I'm not a fucking ancient Greek teacher. Again, if you want to challenge yourself, instead of giving that cat example, which I think is not related, read about it, listen about it. It's quite interesting. I mean, I guess I'm wrong when I say that personal experience does not affect logic, but like I said, I think just that the cat thing, and like I said, you have the same personal experience with something. Should you, I don't know, row a kayak boat on a fucking in the river that you don't have experience with? One outcome would be that you might die. So would it be logical? It would be illogical. And that's just the simplest thing, you know? And that's kind of the problem is exactly kind of what you're describing. A person doesn't know what logic is, and he acts upon it, making illogical decisions. And he's surprised why the outcome was so bad. And then he could claim, well, I didn't know. But another person would come in and say, how didn't you know that? It's obvious. It's logical. You know? I don't know. I mean, again, If I don't forget, I'll have the time today or tomorrow. I will expand on my explanations
Something down there.
after refreshing my memory. What happens all the time? Yes, that's kind of the problem. Why do you think it was part of the Greek education system? Where they taught people for logical thinking. It is the main problem, and then when you get into an argument with a person, and he doesn't see the logic, the obvious logic of what you're saying, and he claims something illogical,
Astonishing.
and that's just his truth, yeah, you will lose the argument against him.
Rise of Eastern
And that's
Orthodoxy.
and the sad truth that it's pointless to argue with him. This is a completely different subject, though. People need to learn to compromise and understand when they're wrong or right. But again, like a person that would argue something illogical to you, you are backed up by logic. He isn't. That's why I gave the example of alibi and whatever, a proof. That is your proof. Because one thing makes sense, the other doesn't make sense. And you cannot claim
Belt buckle. Decorative but strong and
that
functional.
this is your opinion and that is his
Must be
opinion,
part
you
of a
know?
Military uniform.
That's how it works. You might be right. I actually don't know why it happens. Maybe, okay, I see what you're saying. Actually, now I see what you're saying. You might be actually right. I don't know if past experience affect logical thinking that much. That's why I gave the example of intelligence. Which not necessarily is affected by past experiences. Is this a button? Why would this? Personally, I think past experience don't have impact on logical thinking, but I feel like I'm wrong here. That's why, like I said, I kind of got myself curious to revisit the subject. Just to be able to back it up logically. I mean, let's say a kid, his perception of a cat is a mush of blood, and then mommy brings back home a cat, and he smashes him with a heavy object, and she said, "What did you do?" And he says, "Well, now it's a cat." I think that, for example, I guess I took the example too precise. But that's how I saw it. But let's say if you take that as an example for logic, that's not logic, that's insanity. Since he has a twisted perception. And that's why it kind of reminded me of serial killers, because most of the highly aggressive serial killers usually had weird, fucked up childhood. You know, that's what it kind of reminded me of. You can suspect that logical thinking is usually incorporated in genetic memory. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I suspect. Same thing as the definition of intelligence is separated from education. Intelligence and education is kind of different. You can train yourself to be practical, knowledgeable, and act upon it, or you can be intelligent and solve the same problem that a trained person did, but just because you understood the problem, the way to solve it, it took you longer probably, but you could do it. Yeah, it's again, it's very interesting to me personally. It's tells about a lot about humans. Death from above. And of course, I mean, you can practically disagree with everything you read about logic or whatever they were passing on to the youngins back then. And that's the other thing, the concept of that. What would be logical and illogical if the majority would stick by the illogical option, you know? Then it would be fucking crazy. Because the illogical would seem logical. You know? I think I want to double shot. Was the triple shot. While zoomed in with a fully charged bow shot, multiple targets can be locked by holding aim over them for a short period of time. When released, arrows will strike multiple enemies simultaneously. But even then, I think, even everybody are preaching illogical, even you're one against everyone, logic still stands because that's how it works. Weighted handle increases strike power, causing enemy armor to shatter after successful melee combos. Shatter. Coil stability or damage. What do I need? I need oil, which I don't. Stay. The guy that caused love is perfect example of your concept of making a cat. Oh man, I really kind of... This is the most messed up map so far. Where am I going? Investigate the valley. Kind of going away just to explore. Wait a minute, I don't... The guy that caused love is a perfect example of your concept of making a cat? I don't get it. Me no understand. Me no stupid, but me no understand. Come back here another time, I guess. Go by the objective. Seems like I need to cross somehow. If it's possible. Actually, I should have upgraded one of the pouches since I got another bear hide. We can get down there. You just jump into the river, or that just kill me? Oh.
Lara, I'm sorry if Sophia was less than welcoming.
I understand. I'm just glad you were there to vouch for me.
My people have spent decades fighting outsiders. It's not an easy habit to break. See if you can lend a hand with the preparations. A little hard work would go a long way towards building trust.
I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but again, I'll repeat. I don't find that appropriate to explain logic, because I don't see the... I see what you're saying, why they did that. Because they have a twisted perception of something, but that specific example is just, I don't see that being applicable, you know. That's my problem. I understand what you're saying then, but I think it's not, but that doesn't matter. Again, I'm coming back to the same thing. If you do something stupid and illogical and you think it is logical, it doesn't change the fact that you're a fucking idiot. That's what I'm saying. Because that's how logic works. There is a way to make it right, and there is a way to make it wrong. And if you make it wrong and you think it's right, it doesn't make it right. It just makes you an idiot. That's kind of the thing. That's exactly what it is. That's the beauty of it. Because it helps you to not be a fucking idiot in life. It's a tool, and you can apply it in different scenarios. It's not normal. No, it's not normal. You think, take your example, that if your perception of a cat is a bloody mush, and I brought you a cat and you fucking slammed it to make it into a cat of your perception, that's normal because that's how you see it? That is twisted because it's a twisted reality. Because in reality, a cat is a cat. It's not a bloody mush. No? That's kind of the thing. Oh, we unlock a new rifle. Yes, but you're talking about acceptance and ceremonial traditions or traditions. It doesn't, again, it's not about logic. I'm not right as in right morally right, right as practically right. The right action to get the right reaction, you know. That's why I told you that the thing with the cat, it's not applicable to logic. And now that I gave you an answer to that, you took and put in religion and different continents and their traditions. That's not it. I'm not talking about it. That's why, again, if you're interested and get a better explanation than the one that I give you, read about it. That's what I'm saying. What are all these? There are so many of these ropes. Can I connect them to something, or can I swing on them? You mean, can I shoot from here? No. Because you also brought different laws into this discussion, which the logical thing would be across the whole globe, you're not allowed to murder another person. That's logical. But if you have different interpretations in different countries, it could make it illogical, but it's a different thing again. Different laws, different perception of justice. Severity of punishment. I don't know if you can tie that to logic, you know? Because, like, let's say, which country, the in the Arabian world, I forgot which country, Saudi Arabia, I think. I don't know if that law still exists, but if you steal, they cut off your hands. I don't see the logic or illogic here. It's more cruelty. You have a crime, then you have a punishment for that crime, how severe the punishment is. But there's no logic or illogic here, you know?
You're making great strides, young ones. I almost believe some of you might be passable hunters someday. But here is where we begin to separate the wheat from the chaff. Today, while the sun is up, we stalk deer. Their meat, their skin, antlers, even their bones are what keep us all alive. Respect the deer, for it is as close to God as we are. Find them by their bedding, where the grass is pressed flat, or near berry bushes where they feed. Strike true. Don't let it feel a moment of fear or pain. Remember, I will be judging you, and whoever brings me a stag will be judged most favorably.
Benefit you or your tribe, is it a logical thing to do? What do you mean, conquering another? I know what you're trying to compare, but I'll give you a better comparison. If you're telling me that you're starving and you need to kill another person, that would be the logical thing to do. It doesn't make it right, and that's the contradiction of logic. The logical thing would be to see what other options you have. It really depends. Like, you're trying to put in things that are based on the circumstances. You're telling me that for your benefit, let's take away my example and let's go back to your one. Your example. To your benefit of your tribe, to kill another tribe is the logical thing. What happened to greed? Because you can apply anything else, depends on the circumstances. And again, I'll go back to the same thing I said previously. Since I don't remember, and I will refresh my memory to back up my argument about this. But I don't think you can apply that. Since it's a way broader example. It's not like black and white. If you have a driving license, should you drive a car? I missed. I think you can dodge without actually ever getting hit by them. I mean, I see what you're saying, because let's say somebody is trying to kill you. Would it be logical to defend yourself? I understand that. And I'm telling you right now, I don't know exactly the answer, and that's why I'm going to refresh my memory and read up on it and give you an answer tomorrow. The logical thing would be... And that's the thing, why this subject is a lot broader than just simply stating, like, if I have a driver's license, should I drive a car or I shouldn't? Because let's say you're being attacked, and the other person has a gun. What would be the logical thing to do? Fight him or try to run for it? Then the next question would be, are you in an urban area or are you in the woods? Do you have cover? You need to analyze it. And then you come to a logical conclusion. He has a firearm. Is it dark? Is it raining? How am I dressed? All those things happen really quick. And the outcome is that with a logical thinking, you have a higher chance of survival. So it really depends when you say if your tribe benefit from it. What are the circumstances? That's what I ask. And then I can tell you what would be the logical decision. Oh, wait. Oh my gosh. Somehow she nailed it. Man, this is a messed up map. I don't know how I feel about this, but I gotta say, these new areas, how you can approach things are kind of crazy. Yeah, but what is the alternative? You present me with one resolve, which is them wiping them. What is the other side doing? Like, I gave you just an example of something that if you give such an example, you gotta break it down. It's like XCOM, when we play XCOM, and then you have several shots of 90%. Like, would you take 2 shots for 45% or 1 shot for 90% when the enemy has 1 HP? The logical thing would be the 90% because there's a higher chance you're gonna finish him, or you could actually miss the 2 shots. Again, the circumstances. To begin with, why would they do that? If you tell me that Russia and China aiming nukes at USA, and that USA has a 100% chance of disarming those nukes, but they only have 2 days and they gotta act now, and in the process they will wipe the population of China and Russia, the logical thing would be to act. That's the logical thing to do. Would it be right morally? No. That's kind of the beauty of it. If you look at it, we have so many different definitions of different terms that regulate your everyday decisions. Exactly, yeah, but exactly what? Again, you're giving me like one side of the thing. Usually it's an equation that you need to analyze and decide if it's logical or not. But it's not something that you can learn to do, you kind of understand, but again, you can, because there were teaching of that in classes, that's what I'm saying. Do I expect every person to think logically? In a better world, I do. The reality is they don't. That doesn't mean they shouldn't. Kind of the thing. And that's what I'm coming back to. If you have an argument and somebody analyzes whatever argument you're having, and logically speaking he is right, then you lost the argument. But the other thing is, because people say this is my opinion and that is your opinion, then you have 2 different separate opinions. Then you lose the argument, even if you have the logic, because you can't argue with a person that does not compromise and cannot see eye to eye or try to analyze his thought process. Maybe, I don't know, because like this person at work that we used to have all kinds of debates. We have like we're completely different people, but what's interesting is that I could understand him and I could realize when he actually convinced me of something and realize that maybe I'm wrong about something, and I see his way of thought, you know. But that usually doesn't happen. I'm not saying I'm a better person than somebody else. I'm just saying in the real world, or egos and whatnot are in the way, and a lot of people don't understand the concept of logic, when something is logical or something is illogical. So you have a lot of arguments that are going nowhere. And just like you said, with the cat or the fucking beat up lover or whatever, which I still think is kind of not related, but it's a good example now, as an example of that, people don't understand what kind of is the morally right or wrong thing if we talk about beating up your female friend or fucking creating a bloody mush out of your cat because that's how your perception of the animal was, you know? And if you go and tell that person that's not how you do it and you did something wrong, he's never gonna accept it because he's incapable of it. And what I'm getting to is that I think that if you cannot compromise and listen or teach yourself to listen, if you're going through a fucking ancient Greek logic class, then if you were not born with it, I think you're not capable of logical thinking. That's how I see it. And I might be wrong. Again, I don't know if there is a true way of seeing it or thinking about it. That's why I'm curious to go back and read about how it was, how the whole concept was created and how the analytics work around it. Just so I will be able to give a better answer next time. So I don't fuck. Like I said, the last thing I remember is fucking ancient Egypt dynasties, because that was the last thing I like extensively, because it was somehow to do. I was reading about the cross of the Red Sea. I was looking for evidence if it actually ever happened, and I came across a very interesting, actually, archaeological finding that was recently discovered. That basically says that the Jewish Bible, right, Tanakh, might actually be, like, the events, some of the events, the rest of the world basically says some of the events never occurred, but these archaeologists found out that the timeline is skewed in the Tanakh, and they backed it up with actual excavation and evidence. It was really interesting because I was looking, why is there no chariots and leftovers in the Red Sea?
They will likely come from the air. Jacob is assembling fighters in the upper village to draw their attention there. The children and those too old to fight will be safely hidden in the Acropolis catacombs. I will go there once things are in hand here.
You said they were heavily armed. How can we expect to beat them?
The fight will not be won in open combat. They will hit us hard and fast, and we will take losses. They hope to crush us in their initial assault,
I have like
but we
7
will turn
people.
their eagerness into our advantage. This will be a long engagement. If we hope to survive, we must wear them down slowly, strategically. We will bleed them from 100 cuts until they have nothing left. Only then will we be victorious. For now, we light the fires, warn the others in the valley. Today, we win by surviving. Gather as much ammunition and supplies as you can. Hide them in the caves and ruins. When you've completed your duties, rendezvous in the upper village. Understood?
Yes! Understood!
Good. Now go.
This is like
Prophet.
I thought they're gonna bring like maybe 20, 30 people. There's barely anybody here.
These new arrowheads seem blunt.
It's not hard to understand concept by example, but that example usually becomes dominant above all else. But when you actually want to educate yourself and read about how ancient Greeks saw it, you might find out it is different. Well, since I read it a long time ago, I don't think it's different. Because I read it, I just don't remember, like I said, I told you, it consists of several things. And has a logical explanation to the logic concept.
Hello. Greetings.
What are we doing? Gotta move. It's the idea of explaining an action Instead of just say that I wanted it that way, you know, or that seems right to me. It's an analytical approach to problem solving. But anyway, so I was trying to find if the Exodus actually happened, because
Lara, I could use your help. Our people are spread thin across the valley. If you light the signal tower, they'll know that the danger is imminent.
I'll do what I can.
Once the fire is lit, they'll know what to do.
because the rest of the archaeologists, they didn't find any remnants or anything on the bottom, and or any signs. And what they discovered is very interesting. So they found, what is this called? The hieroglyphs. There's like a wall of different pictures. I forgot how it's called. And it depicts basically the Exodus, but it's mostly broken. And what happened, how they discovered that the timeline is skewed, was actually that in the Bible, the Tanakh, right? It was said that a specific pharaoh started the Exodus. It's yeah, or mosaics. I don't remember what it was. There's a specific, like, it's a, I don't remember, it's a wall, a palace, or leftovers of something, but basically every pharaoh would draw his achievement. They would draw the greatest achievement of each pharaoh. And in all of the dynasties, you had 3 dynasties, I think. You had the peak time of, prosperous time. Then you had the dark time, and then the dynasty would bring itself back ruling and on top of the world. And what was interesting is that they connected the Exodus to the wrong pharaoh, and these archaeologists found proof that it was the wrong pharaoh, and the translation and all kinds of other findings. And it was really interesting. And they found out that there was a failed pharaoh that repelled a foreign attack, and he lost most of his army. And by that explanation, when the Exodus happened, he didn't have an army to send after them because he lost them in battle, not in the sea. And that makes sense. And that's what I was looking for. I was like, how the fuck there is no remnants in the fucking Red Sea? It makes no sense. But that's what it says in the Jewish Bible. But the connection between the Bible and what the archaeologists found, you can see that the Bible has a skewed timeline. Another interesting find, and I'm skipping details, there's a lot of proofs and all kinds of evidence to it. I also find it hard to bring it to English words, And basically, another interesting thing is that the famous ancient Egyptian city, I forgot what it was called. I already forget, you see. The dude that wrote that Bible, he also didn't write the right location and the correct name of the city. Memphis, I think it was, but it was a different city. And from what they discovered is that this Jewish Bible was written by somebody 500 years after the Exodus, so he was not present, obviously. He is not an eyewitness or anything. He even misplaced the fucking city which they lived in and the name. And there's all kinds of interesting evidence, and it was fascinating reading about it and making the connections. And I tend to believe to what they found, but again, that's like, who fucking knows? But it makes more sense than whatever happened in the Bible when they describe the Exodus. They also explain there was like there was all kinds of explanation. There was like a current king in Judea and all that shit, and why one of the pharaohs did not attack him. There was a wrong pathing when one of the pharaohs went to war that made no sense. I need to find it. I'm gonna link it to you. It's fascinating. It's very interesting. It's actually a video, quite long video. I think it's an hour and a half or maybe 2 hours, maybe even 3. I don't know. Like I've read all the kind of the general stuff of the Egyptian dynasties. I went into some detail about some pharaohs, just the ones that are closer to the Exodus, and then I also watched that YouTube video about these archaeologists explaining
Byzantine script, but I can't quite make
what is what and when. An anecdote. Can I open this? Yeah. And for example, while I was focused on that friend from work, he was focused on something else. Everybody said that the Jewish people were slaves, right? But he had a question, and he actually asked a very orthodox Jew here that is his friend from his previous job place. How come, if you are slaves, you are allowed to leave with your cattle? Back then, cattle was a prestigious thing to have. It would show your status. But in the Tanakh itself, it says that the Exodus was made with shit tons of cattle, oxes, gold, and whatnot. And then he asked him, like, how is that possible? If you believe in this, what kind of slave has so much property to live with? That makes no sense. So you were privileged under the rule of Pharaoh. You know? So he was focused on that. He was very curious about that. And I told him, you're trying to get an answer from the wrong place. He will never. He doesn't analyze what he's reading. He takes it as an axiom. That's how it happened, and that's what I believe. And that's basically, he told him, like, that's what's written in the Bible. And he said, but that makes no sense. I mean, when you were in Germany, concentration camps, did you have gold, cattle, clothing? Like, it's fucking crazy. Yeah, you missed that, but I understand the joke because... But that would have been better since it prepares you to the punchline. I gotta remember sending it to you. It's really, really fascinating. Well, at least it was for me. When you operate a machine and you're fucking bored out of your mind, so you basically read and watch whatever comes to mind. And it's not like I'm trying to disprove something, you know, disqualify. I'm genuinely curious about these things because the whole world revolves around it. Is it a tale? Is it true? Is it a myth? You know? The problem with though the Orthodox Jews that they don't question. And that's kind of interesting. The process of stopping being religious is called to return in question. You're supposed to accept it the way it is. And if you're going back to religion, it's turn to an answer, like return with an answer. Is that a... supposed to? Oh, I can't go. I remember I was working at one place and there was this Russian-speaking guy that became Orthodox. It was so weird to see. I don't know if he was using it as a tool to be, you know, to have an easier life here, which you do get some perks. Some things are easier, but you gotta sacrifice yourself. Like, you gotta be different. You gotta accept doing things that you might not find to your liking. But I guess, I don't know, maybe he genuinely believed it. But there is a tale about... I remember the gist of it. The gist of it is that back in the old days, I don't know when God created Earth, there were two giant whales. Oh, I think he was explaining why it is raining or some shit like that. I don't remember. Something like that. So there used to be two giant whales that they could basically drink the ocean and the seas in one gulp. So God separated them. That's a person. He was he was above me. He was like, you know, the foreman at that place, giving me orders. And he, like, one day he started this chit chat. So yeah, two giant whales that could have drank the whole ocean and the seas in one gulp. So he separated them onto different planets or some shit like that. And when it rains, it's because they cry. And sometimes God is not present because he's there to pet them and be with them because he feels guilty about separating them. And I mean, I'm an atheist, okay? And I mean, there's tale of God might be true, might be a different concept, like everybody say this deity is that's God, but this is a completely different fucking story.
Aurora, the physician.
I mean, yeah, if I would believe in God, I could believe in such a tale, but I don't believe in both, or at least not the acceptable concept of gods, that it's this one dude or dudette or something that controls everything and creates. But then you add fucking giant whales. I mean, I'm probably missing some details, but what really struck me,
the road to Katesh was long and hard. Infirmity, illness, and injury abounded. Aurora was a believer trained in the ways of Hippocrates and the great Roman healers. It is because of her that so many survived the journey to Katesh. It is her legacy that knowledge of healing continues to be passed down among believers.
And what struck me is that he wasn't Orthodox. I was like, it kind of amazed me. I guess back then I didn't realize that it doesn't matter what language you speak, you could be a believer if he actually believed it. But the way he was telling it and the passion, and I wasn't interrupting him, and I definitely didn't say anything to like, dude, are you fucking serious? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? I just nodded and I said, alright, like, okay, that's fucking awesome. I didn't want to... Guess I didn't know how to respond. I didn't want to insult him or anything, because that is his belief, and it might be true. I doubt it, but who am I to fucking cross it and tell him that it's not true and he's a fucking moron, you know? Because maybe what he described in human concepts, maybe it was something else. Who knows? I can't know. I can't tell him for sure. So might as well been true, but you know, switch a few details and turn the giant whales into something else, and I'm finding all these ore veins, but I need oil. Where the fuck am I going? Am I still in the same way? I feel like I'm gonna be backtracking here. This specific area is a bit more complicated. And of course I'm yapping non-stop, so... Updated crypt treasure. Yeah, that's the thing. We also had the discussion about who are those people that deciphered the Jewish Bible, and usually it's like a wealthy Jewish guy and that never saw fucking another Jewish person from Canaan or all that shit. And somehow they are always the ones that interpret the Bible, and somehow everyone consider them holy. So yeah, if you want to like draw a person closer, you would interpret it in a more humane way. That makes sense what you're saying. Exactly. As a side note, all those rabbis that the glorious ones that are considered to be like numbre uno Judaism, they're like it's always some kind of a wealthy guy I think one was from Spain, another one Babel or some shit like that. Is it Babylon? It wasn't even near, and it's not like his... I don't know if his ancestors... It's not like something you... My point being is that he might have not even been born Jewish, but because he had no fucking... had too much time on his hand and he was bored as fuck, so he started interpreting, I think, not interpreting. And it's interesting because you have so many different paths. I don't know the right word. That, for example, it's not allowed for a Jewish Orthodox person to turn on the lights on the Sabbath, right? So I had situation where I was asked if I'm Jewish, and by the Jewish law, I'm not Jewish, I'm Russian. Like, I'm a goy. They don't have, they don't really see you as a nationality. They just like, the whole world is goy and we're Jewish, which is so fucking patronizing. And it's one of the main problems why people dislike them. Us, them, I don't know. Because before I met you, I basically tell you that your God is false and mine is the true one God, which is basically disrespectful. And I tell you that before I even met you, because that's what my religion says. And I also tell you that I was chosen and you were not. That's a very shitty way to approach another person. And you don't even need to open your mouth. That's a given. That's a fact, because that's my religion. I completely lost my train of thought. I'm just babbling here. Oh, right, interpretation. So one of the, like, they have different, paths. The Orthodox, the last, the Ashkenazi, the all that different stuff I don't understand, but not the best way, to make friends. And in order to make it a more acceptable, like, religion, it's like, I think Christianity accepts Judaism, right? But I think it's not the other way around. I might be wrong, but like Islam does not recognize both, or some shit like that. If each religion respected each other, it would have made more sense and created less conflicts, I guess. But that's not the point. So basically what I was saying is that, so they have different interpretations. So basically, you shall not light, work on the Sabbath and turn on the lights and all that shit. So some of the Orthodox, what they do is that they have special timers. So or special elevators, they're not allowed to use electricity, but they have Sabbath elevator. So if he gets to the elevator, so it's automatic, or the lights are automatically light up and turn themselves off. They're bypassing the law that was given to them by God, and they consider that to be all right. But then you have the other ones. I forgot how they call themselves. They take everything literally. If I'm not allowed to turn on the lights on the Sabbath, I will not do it, and I will not create myself a workaround to do it, because that's not what I was told. So, and both of the interpretations, like those people and the other ones, they can't stand each other. They fucking hate each other. So it's so fucking weird. You're both considered to be Jewish, but because of the different interpretations, you can come to an agreement. And you live in the same country. It's fucking crazy. Get there, but oh, yeah, I thought I'm gonna grab this to a higher spot. Yeah, they don't recognize each other. That's kind of the thing. And you also have those that don't accept our government. Like, they don't accept the country as it is. They say this is not our government. This government does not exist. There is no such country as Israel. And they are like some kind of Orthodox Jewish from another different path. I don't know how to call it, sect or whatever. Cult. It's really weird, yeah. And that's the thing. So like I said, they see you as Goy. They don't see you as a Ukrainian Russian, because if your mother is not Jewish, then you're not Jewish. Doesn't matter if your father is Jewish. And that's a fucked up way to see the world. Very disrespectful way to see the world. You alienate everybody else. Calling yourself the chosen. Can fuck right off with that bullshit. And what really bothers me is that as an atheist, I accept that it might be true or might be false, and I accept all those religions because I don't care, I don't know, I don't even bothered by it. You want to claim that it's true? Okay, I mean, good for you, that's your life. As they say, life is a gift and you can do whatever you please with it. But going out of your way and claiming that this is the one true God and the other one is not true, I mean, you don't really know as well, you know? All that shit is very fascinating to me. Human nature and all these beliefs and rules, and it's just very, very interesting. To me personally. Fire arrows, finally. Oh, when you click one, you change. That's why when I was clicking 2 and I had the bow there, I think it was switching. I didn't realize what it was doing. Shit, man. Can you imagine doing something like this? Insanity. I mean, there are mountain climbers. I don't know if it gets this crazy on any mountain. But holy shit. Fire arrows. Oh, I need to light the beacon. Oh, you need to. My bad.
Thank you, Lara. Our people have been warned. That should give them time to evacuate. Meet me in the upper village. I'm gathering our forces here.
All right.
I actually feel that something is wrong with my video card. I just had like a green artifact on screen. And all these crashes in this game. I don't know if it was just something random. And I noticed when I restart, one of my screens shows some weird artifacts as well, but I still have my warranty. It would suck for the card to die. I almost feel it's like something with this game. It's a bit janky. Anyways, I think we're gonna end here. I'm gonna actually go and read up about logic. You got me curious. Because I'm obviously doubting what I'm saying because I don't remember properly to give you a proper argument.
You're the one that came with Jacob. I have something to ask.
The followers of the Prophet fled, but they were attacked in Syria.
So yeah, I'm gonna go read, watch, just chill. So thank you so much for joining, as usual. You guys have a fantastic weekend. And we will continue in this hopefully tomorrow morning, maybe noon-ish. But I hope I'll start sooner. Oh, she's selling goodies. What is she selling?
There are treasures inside that could help us now.
Oh, she has a quest. Let's just save. We never went back to Syria, but it's unfortunate. Thank you.